Hey, welcome back to episode 3 of the Building Wealth with Real Estate podcast or YouTube video or wherever you're watching this and whatever platform you're watching this on. So, in this video, we're going to talk about a more passive investment versus the last one we looked at, just a, a more active, hey, I'm going to buy a triplex. I want to aggressively increase the value in this deal by renovating each one of the sides. This one's a little bit more passive where you can just buy it, use the income the property's producing, maybe negotiate a little bit on the price, just depending, or a credit and really lower your interest rate. That way, you can qualify just off the income the property's producing. Or if you wanted to use a little bit of your own income and just know that you have an asset that when interest rates drop, you can refinance and it's going to be cash flowing really well. This is a really great deal. So and honestly, the price really isn't too bad because there aren't a lot of these out there. So that's a great first picture. There are a lot of pictures, which is nice to see. A lot of these listings, it almost seems like there's no effort put into the photography and marketing. But this is listed at 425 14th Street in Sacramento, listed for $975,000. This is listed by Renee Little with Lion Real Estate Downtown. So this property is producing $64,344 per year. So a little over 5,000 a month. You have a one bed, one bath renting for $1,375. Two bed, one bath for $1,795, a two bed, two bath for $2,172. It would be very interesting to look at how often they've increased the rents. Usually, whenever you see these odd numbers like this, it's because they've been increasing it by a certain percentage every single year. So it's good to see. And looking at this property, like I said, you put 20% down from, let's say, your first duplex where you have $200,000 down. You can buy this property, qualify off the income that it's producing without having to prove your own. Depending on the lender, if you want a little bit better of an interest rate, then prove just a little bit of your own income and add that in there. The nice thing about this is this would be for me that buy and hold. Let the renters pay the mortgage payment. Maybe you're paying a little extra out of pocket. The nice thing about it, you could take a huge deduction in your taxes by doing a full depreciation of the asset or a partial or whatever it might be, and I can lower my tax bracket, especially if I'm a higher income earner, but I can lower my tax bracket and have a triplex. The goal with this property is knowing that when interest rates drop, I'm going to be able to refinance and either do a cash out refinance and buy my next property, or I can just do a refinance and have a cash flowing asset, just depending on your investment goal. There aren't a lot of these triplexes in the Sacramento area where it's close to downtown, so a very historic part of Sacramento, definitely a very coveted part of Sacramento that offer washers and dryers in each one of the units. So that is a huge bonus. Plus, they have a yard. It looks like it might be a little bit of a shared yard. There might be some room for you to come in and make some upgrades here and there, but for the most part, I think it looks from the general pictures of whenever these were last taken, it looks pretty well done. Definitely perfect for, either young professionals, I mean, anyone, to be honest. Fair housing laws, right? But really nice, right? They put washer and dryer in all the units. I definitely agree with that, because I think if you put care into a place and you make it valuable enough for you to live in it, people will definitely see that value and are willing to pay more and also treat it better. So, great deal. I think there's a great opportunity for you to buy this, increase rents by 3% every single year. And in 5 years, you're looking at a huge increase in value. Let me look at that real quick. Because remember, if I sell at a certain cap rate that is generally, I want to look at, okay, if a debt service coverage ratio requires a 1.25% ratio, which means for every dollar you owe in your monthly payment, you're making a dollar 25 back, right? So I know that if I'm buying and interest rates are 6.8%, the capitalization rate of the property needs to be at 7.8% in order for me to qualify, or 7.9. If just depending on the lender, if I want to sell it, right, and interest rates drop to 4.8%, I can now sell it at a lower cap rate, which just means that I am selling it at a higher value. So if I increase rents, right, they're starting off at 64, let's just say roughly 5,400 a month. 5,400. I want to look at, hey, in the next, 5 years. Okay, so this is actually being sold right now at almost a 6% cap rate, which is fine. Or sorry, 0.7. So, right, let's just say it's a 7% cap rate. By year five, what I'm looking to do is get the value another couple 100,000 over what I already put into it. So now I'm looking at 400,000 that I have in equity, right? Because I put 200,000 down or roughly that as a down payment. And I'm going to have a lot more equity either for my next project or, like I said, I can do a cash out refinance, know that I still have a cash flowing asset and use that money to buy another multifamily complex. It just depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to do. Some people don't want to lose that cash flowing asset just in case they lost their job. Others just want to be able to sell that off and buy a complex that has more doors, which just means more potential. But it's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to your goal. It's up to where the market's at too. Sometimes those, you get over 6 units. A few years ago, those were selling for way over what they should be, but it's because people saw the upside potential. So, great investment opportunity, great listing. I think the seller did a great job with that as well. So we'll see you on the next video for a multifamily complex.